Welcome to the Wilson Combat channel, or welcome back as the case may be. We hope you'll all subscribe. My name is Massad Ayoob. I've been a firearms instructor for half a century now, and of course running 1911s from the beginning. I found over the years, most of the time when a student's 1911 went down, it was the magazine, and I could fix it by handing them 3 Wilson Rogers magazines. Noticed also there are other magazines that work pretty well, notably the McCormick brand, created by Chip McCormick. Chip McCormick Custom is now a subsidiary of Wilson Combat, and we have with us their Operations Manager, Brandon Roberts. Brandon, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us what McCormick Custom is up to now. What are some of your new offerings?
The latest is going to be our Range Pro line. Got them in 45 and 9mm.
Okay.
They're different in that they've got a all stainless steel construction with the polymer base pad, which makes the spring a little bit more corrosion resistant.
9-round or 10?
8-round in the 45 and 10-round in the 9mm.
Now, on the 9mm, what approach did you take to get the shorter cartridge cycling through the longer mechanism designed for a 45 ACP?
These ones have a spacer in the rear to index the cartridges to the front, and also a built-in feed ramp at the top of the tube to aid in reliability for that fully loaded 10-round mag.
Now, you've got a pretty broad range of magazines. Tell our listeners what they might be looking for and why they might want more than one style per caliber.
Well, we've got quite a few. We've actually got 24 different SKUs for just the full-size 45 1911. We've got a 38 Super. We've got just one available for that, and available in stainless and blackened stainless. We've got a 10mm that's of either flush fitting, or you can buy it with a base pad that attaches with 2 screws. And for the 9mm, we have a flush fitting 9-round and our Range Pro 10-round. Also a couple compact versions that are reduced by 1 round, so an 8-round flush fit match grade and a 9-round Range Pro.
We're seeing more interest in the 10mm cartridge. What's the capacity in the 10mm magazine?
9-round capacity for that one. Yeah, they are picking up quite a bit in the last few years.
What's your highest capacity in 45 ACP?
10-round, and those have gone through a few iterations over the years. The original ones back from 1995 had a welded base and a base shroud. This is one of those older ones. First ones to use the laser welded tube. So back before they did the laser welding, they'd have to actually sand on the back of the tube to make it fit flush in the mag well, and that led to weakening these the back part to lead to cracking right there at the base of the feed lips. So the laser welding and the 410 stainless that they chose to use really helped with that, but could only do so much, holding back 42% more weight than the original design.
Now, you've done some innovative things over the years, inspired by Chip McCormick. Tell us about the rolled feed lips.
The railed power mags with the rolled in feed lips.
Which one is that?
We've got them in 8 and 10 for the full size, and a 7-round for the compact. And with that helical bend, we're claiming twice the service life, but it's really proven to be more like 4 or 5 times the strength.
Now, what sort of round count are we talking about with the service life?
Actually, we had to put them in a hydraulic press to find the failure point. Turns out that the feed lips didn't spread, the tube body below the feed lips spread. So you'd kind of get a warning if you ever got to that point, which we haven't seen anybody get there yet, and it'd start sticking in as you went to eject it. The round's still going to be in the same spot. You know, it's going to have the same presentation geometry as they do when you get them from the factory. And also, it seems to be a more smooth feeding surface. You don't have just bent over sheet metal. It doesn't leave the same scratches on your brass. It's a lot smoother feeding.
Now, there have been some patented followers actually coming out of McCormick. Tell us about some of the approaches the company's taken to the followers.
The original Shooting Star follower, it's actually designed to position itself to pick up on the slide on that last round. and pick up on the slide stop and lock your gun open. But a lot of people don't like the fact that it can move around in the tube. They don't get a really warm, fuzzy feeling about that. And if you push it all the way in and try and bench test it, you could potentially miss the slide stop, and then people don't feel comfortable with them. With the RPM follower, it has a longer tail, so it's captured by a couple coils of spring, and also it's looped into the spring at the very top. It's got a twist to it, so it's actually only making contact inside the tube at like 3 different places. It's a lot more stabilized in there. It works in really gritty, grimy environments because it's not like a skirted follower, less chance of getting contaminants stuck in between there to lock it up. Also, when it clears the cutout right here for the slide stop, there's a little bit of interference. So this will actually lock open even the most out-of-spec slide stops. The biggest complaint I get about these is when people lock it open and can't push the slide stop down and lower their slide, which I'm like, why would you want to do that with an empty magazine still in the gun? These also have the most spring pressure out of anything on the market. So we increase the coils of spring to kind of increase its service life as well. And you can see that here if we take one of our flush fit match grade 8-round 45 mags. You know, it's about what you'd expect to see from excess spring pressure on a 1911. And then if we take our railed power mag, and I don't recommend anyone do this without eye protection, but it has quite a few more coils of spring in there.
Tell us about the price ranges.
The 10-round railed power mags will retail for just the bare stainless, it's $42.95. The 8-round is $39.95. And we have our classic range, which is right around the $20 mark for the blued mags in 7-round, and we also have them in 8-round. They'll fit flush, and you can get them with or without a base pad that attaches with 2 screws.
We've been talking about the hardware and the product. Let's talk about you for a minute. You started with Chip McCormick, right?
I did, yeah. That was nearly a decade ago when I started working for Chip and finally got a 1911 in my hands. So I was able to learn how the magazine and pistol interact and his thoughts of how to go about.
Well, you've interacted and really been mentored by 2 of the great geniuses of the business, Chip McCormick, God rest his soul, and Bill Wilson. Tell our listeners what it's like to work for those guys.
Oh, it's been fantastic learning from both of them. And there's so much to learn from both of them. Yeah, you're right, they both have been like mentors to me. That's Bill and Joyce, fantastic people, wealth of knowledge, just all around. And Chip was a lot of fun. You know, he sat with him for hours in his hangar out there where we used to do all the packaging and shipping and quality control. Just finding out his way of going about tackling problems and how the magazine and the pistol interact. It's been a real treat coming out here with Joyce and Bill, and just seeing all the innovations that they come up with. It's been a lot of fun.
It's good to see bosses who care about the people they employ.
Oh, that's a fact. That is a real special treat. You don't see that a lot.
Well, great people making a great product. Anything coming down the pike that's an R&D that you can talk about?
Not that I'm at liberty to discuss at the moment.
Well, we'll keep our eyes open, and we'll be looking for new innovations from a very innovative company. Brandon, thanks so much for being with us today.
It was my pleasure.
We'll look for you later on the Wilson Combat channel. Hope you subscribe, and remember, your comments are always welcome. We'll see you next time.